let's go right back to the beginning then. So
Okay.
the beginning of your WWE journey, that is.
Yeah.
So the first ever Divas search. I mean, how did that all happen for you, Candice? And what was that experience like?
Yeah, I'll never forget my agent calling me because I was in California doing modeling and acting. And so this was obviously a very different type of an audition. And he called me so nonchalantly. Like I can just envision him. Like he lived by the beach, his feet are kicked up, he's in a surfer outfit. And he's like, I'm not sure if you're going to be interested in this or not, but the winner will win $100,000. So he was just excited about his 10% of $100,000.
Sure.
He proceeded to tell me about this Diva Search contest, and you would get a 1 year contract with the WWE. And I'm sitting on the other side thinking, this is crazy because I grew up watching wrestling and I never really knew you could be a wrestler. They were legit like superstars to me. I never thought, oh, you can go to a wrestling school or train to be a wrestler. They were kind of heroes. And so for it to come full circle and to have a chance to audition for this, I was super excited and I was ready for it. So I'm like, heck yeah, sign me up.
So who did you love like growing up watching wrestling?
Yeah.
Who were your heroes, those superstars
My
you looked up to?
ultimate favorite was Hulk Hogan. Like, without a shadow of the doubt, he was the best. I had a Hulk Hogan doll instead of a Barbie doll. And I remember my stepdad taking me to my first live event. And we sat on the entranceway. And I'll never forget the bushwhackers came stomping down. And they stopped right by me. And they looked at me and I raised my little hand and like they high-fived me. And it's such a cool experience to look back on now. It was cool then, but
Yeah.
now I'm like, wow, they tagged me into the wrestling business years before I even knew I was going to be in it.
And they didn't lick you as well, which is a
Yeah,
probably a good thing for a bushwhacker. Yeah.
totally. But Hulk Hogan was my ultimate favorite. I loved others like the Ultimate Warrior, the Jake the Snake Roberts, Miss Elizabeth. It was just kind of that era where I was totally engulfed in it all.
But a real lack of, women wrestlers in that
Yeah,
era. It would kind of
yeah,
pass. So you had Miss Elizabeth, you had Sherry. There were lots of valets and characters who
yeah.
sometimes got physical, but there was a real lack of women's wrestling, wasn't there? So did you follow the product a bit more as it got to the late 90s and then we started to see Sable and Jacqueline and China and that next movement of women in wrestling?
Yeah, I didn't really follow it straight through, as I got older and then I moved to California and was kind of starting my own career. My roommate was kind of into it once I got to California. So I remember seeing some of the stuff with Stone Cold Steve Austin, when he was really kind of huge, and The Rock in that era, but I didn't watch religiously then. But what really stuck out to me is maybe that's why I never thought I could be a wrestler, is because when I was watching, there wasn't female wrestlers.
Yeah.
And so you're just thinking, oh, this is kind of a man's sport, a male sport. And so kind of ironic how it just has evolved so incredibly so.
Well, I mean, as I said the last time we spoke, that's a very large part of that is down to the work that you guys did in the
Mm.
in the Divas generation, I guess, to pave the way for today. When you joined the Diva Search, did you ever think, oh, this could lead to a contract to become a talent and become a worker in the ring?
For sure. I mean, I 100% thought I am made for this business. Like when I was auditioning, I had done thousands of auditions at this point. So I know the role of auditioning. You get some, you don't get some you kind of blow, some you're just not the right type for. But this one, I was like, I am meant to be in here. And so when I didn't actually win, I was really hurt. I mean, it took like a month to recover. And then within a couple months, that's when they reached out and offered me the 3 year deal. So I was very excited to hear from them.
So what was your audition process then for the Diva Search?
Yeah. I just remember I was in LA. We went and we auditioned, and then they flew all of the top, I think it was the top 20 maybe, to Chicago. I think it was Chicago. But they had auditioned in previously from California and Chicago and New York and Miami. So kind of really all those really top markets for females. And so they really brought in the top 20 and then they slowly started, doing some of those gigs on TV and filming and then the elimination process was happening from there.
So I mean, you join this locker room where there's some really accomplished workers like Trish Stratus and Lita and Ivory and Molly Holly. So some workers that have been there for a long time, kind of building their skills. Did you and the other kind of women joining that Diva Search feel like you were accepted into the locker room, or did it take a while to kind of feel that you were part of WWE?
Yeah, I think it definitely took a while. The women wrestlers that were established already, most of them had done some sort of wrestling school or wrestling training or kind of paid their dues that way. And so I think for some of them, they may have looked at us like, wow, you guys are just walking in here not paying any dues.
Yeah.
I feel like I paid my dues in Hollywood. It was just a different kind of paying my dues. And it was really a disadvantage for me. I was going in there not knowing how to take a bump, not knowing wrestling philosophy, literally just not knowing anything about the business. So when you get the privilege of going up to TV right away, there's also extra work that has to be done to understand everything about the business, from the politics to shaking people's hand to going up to superstars, to say hi when you arrive. Like, this is things that were never taught. You just kind of learn on the fly. So there's definitely a disadvantage, but it was an opportunity for us to learn and grow and to really step into that.